Hello, this is PalicoPadge and welcome to an impromptu talking and trucking episode. The background you see me recording is actually footage I recorded, 2 weeks ago, possibly even longer, and I haven't had the chance to actually put anything to this, which I'll go into in this video as far as commentary is concerned. And as it stands right now, my other half has literally just gone out of the door with our son, who's being a right little bugger when it comes to going to sleep at the moment in these strange times. So I thought, hey, let's throw on the mic, pop on the cans, and tell you what's going on, and generally just see how everyone is doing. Really, you know, it's strange times, isn't it? This whole COVID-19 situation. From a personal perspective, I've been home now for 4.5, coming up to 5 weeks. So pretty much the entirety of April and the week before in March. And as far as day-to-day goes, we're doing okay ourselves, although it's obviously very restrictive on what you can get away with. The worst part from my perspective is, although I'm not at work, my other half is still working from home. So she's on her laptop for 8-9 hours a day. So effectively, because our child minder, babysitter if you will, is closed down for obvious reasons at the moment, I am full-time babysitter, and I do have a newfound respect when it comes to our childminders and his grandparents, our parents, who look after Jacob a lot whilst we're at work. It's pretty full on. It's pretty full on. It's the other bad part about it at the moment is the fact that because we can't go out and entertain him in other ways that we usually would, be it walks further afield or going down to our favourite place down at Western, or just generally just taking him downtown or something, keeping it interesting for him is a full-time occupation, to the point where we are suffering when it comes to the evening, because he's just not getting as much physical exertion as he usually would throughout the day, going out, seeing kids, going to playgroup and whatnot, and everything else that he does, that he's not settling at night, and hence why he's been taking out in the car for a bit of a ride around to try and tip him over the edge into unconsciousness so we can eat. Yeah, a bit of an impromptu one. However, the footage you do see, and the first thing that I like to do when I do talking and trucking, first times with things, and this is the first time, something I'll go into, with a new graphics card. I now have an RTX 2060. I thought I'd treat myself for my birthday, which was back in the middle of March. It was about a week before the shutdown happened, and I was umming and ahhing on what to do, and my partner, although we're saving for a house at the moment, she was like, look, you know, you don't do a lot with your life as far as like going to pubs and stuff. I'm not really an outgoing person as far as going to pubs and clubs and stuff like that, and this is my hobby. And she said, look, if you want to drop some cash onto a new graphics card, it's been a while since you've had one, by all means do it. I think I've had my 970 for 4, possibly 5 years, so I've done pretty well, and it's by no means got to the end of its life. But I've been reading how because I had a new CPU and new RAM and everything about 2-3 years ago, although it's not bottlenecking, there were certain games where I was having to play on medium to medium low to get decent frame rates, but I've also found that having this new graphics card makes rendering of videos a lot quicker as well. It's before it was real time. If anything, it's ever so slightly quicker than that. And I never realised, because I was like, well, an RTX 2060, it's a 6 gig card against a 4 gig card. It's not a major step up. If I really wanted to step it up, it would have been to a 2070, 8 gig. But then I was like, well, technically with a 970, it's a 3+1 gig card, because the way that Nvidia messed about with that graphics card, so it is a bit of a step up. And I didn't think it'd make too much of a difference, but every little counts when it comes to processing power. But my god, does it make a difference. Hopefully you can see a difference within this recording, because in the past, whenever I've recorded American Truck Simulator, there has been jitters. It hasn't been constant, but every so often there has been jitters to the gameplay, and from my perspective, I can't see any. You may think otherwise. And the one thing which has actually made me very well when it comes to American Truck Simulator, and I've looked into it, and I believe this is the same with Euro Truck Simulator as well, is the pop-in is terrible. Now, I don't know if it's because you notice it more in American Truck Simulator because there's much more wider spaces than there are in ETS, where there's a lot more sort of enclosed motorways and whatnot. But the popping of the vehicles in the background is something which I thought I was doing wrong. I thought I had a setting wrong somewhere, but it turns out it's a limitation of the actual engine, and it's something they're looking to address this year, supposedly. Obviously, with everything going up in the air at the moment, God knows what's going on with that. But however, it is something they're going to address, because when I first put it in, I was like, well, it's no better. I'm not recording, but it's no better. I'm still getting popping and everything. But no, it turns out it's part and parcel of the game engine itself. So, in a long roundabout kind of way, the first time is for this episode is me playing this on my new graphics card. All in all, I'm impressed. It's all right, and let's face it, 6 gig it's not going to be, you know, defunct in the next few years, I don't think. So nothing to worry about there. I do have the opportunity of having RTX, but from what I've read, it's not really worth it, because the issue with RTX technology on the lower cards is it does tend to tank them quite a lot. And to be honest with you, that's not why I bought it. I just wanted the extra processing power. It's got higher CUDA cores, it's got faster memory than the 1660 I was looking at, so it just made sense. And as it turns out, once this ends and I can take my old card to CEX, or SEX if you will, they will give me about £50-60, which would have brought it down to the same sort of price once I got the refund on the older card of what I would have paid for the 1660 anyway. So it sort of swings and roundabouts, and as it turns out, I like it. I like it a lot. So this is generally just a catch up to tell you what's going on. The big thing really after the graphics cards is to say that as of right now, I have run out of the very limited buffer of videos that I had produced before this whole thing kicked off. Now, what does that mean for content going into the immediate future when it comes to the channel? It's going to be squiffy. I won't beat about the bush. It's going to be squiffier than the squiffiness I had beforehand, and that's because I just don't get any time to record. I have the boy up until lunchtime. We then have some lunch together, we give him a shower, we go out for a walk in the afternoon, late afternoon, to try and burn some extra energy off, seeing as we can only go out once a day. And then he goes to sleep, and because my missus is here all the time, the TV's on and I can't tell her to shut up whilst I record, because that's not fair on her, especially when she's been working all day. So it's going to be recording as and when. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to disappear completely. I have sort of come to an agreement with her that every so often, when it comes to Jacob going to sleep for his lunchtime nap, she's going to take her laptop upstairs along with our son and give me 45 minutes to an hour's worth of recording time. Generally speaking, I'll be able to record a couple of episodes within that, and then it's just a case of rendering and getting it up. So I'm hoping to get out 2 a week. I'm not promising 2 a week. I will try and do at least 1 a week, but as it stands for right now, you can count this video as the 1 a week, because I haven't got any opportunity in the next couple of days at the very least to be able to get something out. If I can record towards the end of the week and get something out for Friday, Saturday, I will do, but again, I'm not putting any promises on that. And sadly, that's how it's going to be for the immediate future. I don't know how long this is going to be going on for, simply because no one knows how long this situation is going to be going on for. It's like that, really. I don't know what else to really say on that subject. It's very weird, isn't it? I hope everyone who's got it this far into the video, I hope you're doing well yourself, and nobody you know or your immediate family has been affected by this. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. I mean, numbers are going down, but it seems the people who are getting infected and are really suffering and maybe possibly dying are people who don't have any underlying health conditions, which is what they had going wrong with. That's what people were dying of when this thing first kicked off. Now, does that mean the strain's getting stronger? Is it adapting? I don't know. All we can really do is just hold up like our governments say so, and hope for the best, really. Now, I'm in a privileged position where, because my partner is still working, we're getting her full wage in, and because of the UK government holding out and giving 80% of people's wages who were put onto furlough, which I've officially have been put onto furlough, it means that we still have a comfortable buffer when it comes to the monthly ins and outs of bill paying and food, and also, thankfully, saving for a house, which is what we're doing as well. We can't be as stringent as far as what we'd like to put into our savings, but nonetheless, we're still putting in the bare minimum. So that's looking all good for us. But other than that, it's taking it, well, I'd say every week at a time. It seems to be every 3 weeks at a time, again, when it comes to the UK government, because that seems to be when they're making up their minds on what's going on. As far as my work's concerned, they have said that obviously they want to open them as soon as they can. However, because I deal with the general public, it's a case of they're not so fussed about me coming back straight away. And as it stands, until our childminder opens back up, even if they allow people to, like close families to get together, which is what they said they're going to do, or people go back to work from a sort of, who aren't seeing the general public on a daily basis, we're still going to suffer until they open up schools and or childminders, because our childminder has our son 3 times out of every 2 weeks. So that would affect that. I have spoken to my one of my directors, and he is aware of the situation, and he has spoken about me having certain days off still, and they're even talking about doing what we do on Saturdays, which is sort of half a day for throughout the week, which again would help us out from looking after our son perspective. But we don't know what's going on until it's going to be a week. This is going out sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, so another week's time to see what the government's going to do. But with our Prime Minister going down with the dreaded disease and it really knocking him for 6, I can't see him being too happy about allowing things to crank up anytime soon, possibly mid-May, end of May, maybe. At which point we're looking at 10 weeks being at home? It's crazy times. However, from a personal perspective, although I can't record because I've got background things going on, I am playing a lot more American Truck Simulator, because I miss driving my car. Oh Lord, do I miss driving my car. It's ridiculous. I didn't think I'd miss it that much, because I only do little stints here and there, and driving to go and see my nan in a different town every couple of weeks. But yeah, you do miss it. Thankfully, as my partner goes out and takes our boy around for a drive in the evenings to try and settle him down, she is using both cars, so at least the cars are getting a little bit of work. But I haven't driven for 5 weeks now, and it's ridiculous how much I'm missing it. The monotony of driving, it's crazy really when you think about it. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I've just completed Day of the Tentacle for the first time. I've never played through that game before, and I think I got it in one of Good Old Games random free game things that they do every so often. So I've just played through that. That was entertaining. I had to use a walkthrough towards the end because there was a few things which weren't quite logical, but it was good fun. I don't think I rate it up there as high as I do with like Monkey Island and Simon the Sorcerer or even Leisure Suit Larry. But as far as a fresh experience of a point and click classic adventure, that was pretty cool. And I've also got is it Full Throttle? Give me a second. Yeah, Full Throttle Remastered lined up as well. And Grim Fandango. Those are games that I can pick up and play as the boy is tearing around. And although you've got to listen to things, I can step away whenever I need to step away, which is pretty cool. I've also managed to complete GTA 5 again, just to get to the point where I could do the assassination missions to make like $1.5 billion on each character, so I can go around buying cars and basically use it as a sandbox where the sandbox is my oyster. I can buy whatever I want, including all the properties, and do all the little side missions without worrying about money. So that's pretty cool as well. I've re-downloaded Sunless Sea. I haven't played that since I've put it up on the channel. And again, just as far as having something to play on the downtime when the missus is watching TV and the boy's asleep, and I don't have the concentration to start anything new, I thought that'd be nice to just jump into. It's essentially like reading a book with a little bit of action in between, and because of it having so many different paths you can go down, there's obviously a lot in that game I haven't really explored as of yet, which is pretty cool. I've also got Metro 2033 Redux lined up. I tried to play it on the GTX 970 on my old graphics card, and there was a bug solely to do, supposedly, with the GTX 970 where it used to just stutter. It used to make the game stutter, so I never got through the intro. And again, I figured now I've got the new graphics card, I'll give that a whirl, see what that's like. I believe it's not a very long game, and it's obviously highly rated. It's a trilogy, is it? Or is it a quadrilogy now? Could even be a quadrilogy, I don't know. There's more than one game anyway, so I'll be looking into playing that at some point when I start to get my evenings back. But even I have lost my evenings when my partner has settled down, because she's at home a bit. She's actually been craving to play on her gaming laptop, which I bought for her birthday literally 2 weeks before our son was born, being a surprise baby. Plug for the new video I've just put out. There's a lot of work's gone into that, but I'll go into that in a second. And she's got a craving for playing Battlefield 4. Now, she hasn't got all the expansions. I'm looking again at the premium copy when she does, so we can go on whatever server we want. But we found a couple of vanilla servers, and although we're both terrible at Attics, we haven't played it for over 2 years, it is fun to be able to play with her again. In fact, 2 days before our son was born, we actually just started playing The Division, and she has talked about restarting that up again, which, as far as playing as a twosome is concerned, I'm looking forward to. I've got up to the point where you open up the base in the stadium as well as she has, so we haven't really gone too far into it to the point where we need to sort of start from the beginning and figure out what's going on. As soon as we've picked up the mechanics and the buttons again, I'm sure we'll fly through that. So pretty much looking forward to that. Oh, and Left 4 Dead. She's absolutely petrified of Left 4 Dead 2. So she used to play with us, and because each episode's like a little movie, it's always quite fun to play. And every so often I'll try and push her to lead. She hates leading. I find it hilarious. But again, that's something we haven't played for a while, so I'm looking forward to playing that with her too. So I'll just end up by saying that recently, because of all the time I have had away from YouTube, as it were, as far as producing regular videos, because I had no content recorded, it did give me the time to be able to jump on top of my video I wanted to do for my son, and the way he came about into this world, which, if you're not sure of or have heard the story before, essentially we became surprise parents. We went to Weston-super-Mare on the Sunday. By the Monday morning we had a baby boy, and we didn't even know my partner was pregnant. It was something to do with the fact that the what's the word I'm looking for? The uterus? It's not the uterus. Anyway, where he was placed within her belly wasn't over the stomach, so she didn't get any kicks, she didn't get any morning sickness, and she was pretty big at the start of the pregnancy, and she started to run and do a lot of fitness classes, so she was losing the fat but wasn't losing the size, because the weight she was losing she was putting on via the baby, so her shape didn't change, and she was getting upset towards the end. We got to a point where we actually went out, and then they said, "Oh, when are you due?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not due, I'm just fat." And as we left, she burst into tears, because she's like, "I'm trying ever so hard to lose this weight, and it's just not falling off me." And she was getting really upset about it, and it turns out it's because she had a son in her belly. There you go. So because we didn't have any scans or anything to do with him before he was born, I decided to make a video as something to show him when he's older, and in turn I've put that up on the channel, and it just, as I said, explains the whole story behind him basically. So if you're interested, and if you're craving a little bit of PalicoPadge, it's something I have put in a lot of hours to do, and I am very proud of it. So if you get a chance, it's only about 13-14 minutes long. Give it a whirl and see what you think, and maybe then you'll have a little bit more sympathy for my situation with now a terrible 2-year-old. But hey ho, could be worse, could be worse. So I'll end the video here. I shall wish you all a very healthy time off, or time at work if you're one of the ones who are classed as indispensable. We salute you, both nurses and doctors, and obviously shelf stackers. Who'd have thought it, eh? People on minimum wage are suddenly needed and are classed as indispensable. And yes, thank you for that. From someone who works in the service industry and deals with the general public, I can understand how difficult that can be in these times. So I do tip my hat to you all, and wish you safe working procedures to carry on and to be able to look after the people who come in. But don't take any shit off people. There's a lot of rude people out there. You don't need to take it. You don't need to take it. Walk away, flick them the bird, whatever you need to do. Punch them. I'm sure it'd be maybe not punch them, but I'm sure it, you know. Just know that we do appreciate you. We do appreciate you, and screw those arseholes, eh? So anyway, I'm going to end it here. I'm rambling more so than I usually do. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll speak to you very soon.